Welcome back, Pirate Crew. It's your captain, Yeehaw Yadam, and man, has this channel changed a lot. I miss the old Yeehaw, the Zoro-loving Yeehaw, the one who didn't think Zoro was cringe. Well, we went from a Zoro enjoyer to kind of a Zoro hater in a very little amount of time. It's kind of crazy how this game evolves and how the meta just shifts in the One Piece trading card game. Now, yeah, I mean, I do believe it's going to be a very powerful deck. They just keep printing cards that just kind of sort of make sense in the Zoro archetype, and even since the beginning, this ability being such a flat, blanket-like effect for a leader always seemed very, very good. The fact that 1 Dawn can be equivalent to 6 Dawn is always like, wow. But in order to really truly get that effect, you have to just play a very low-to-the-ground strategy, and at the end of the day, it just becomes very akin to a face deck, an aggro deck, and not often do I gravitate to those type of decks in many card games. I gravitate to them if they are what I believe is a very powerful deck, and also if I just kind of enjoy the characters in the deck. Unfortunately for me, I do just enjoy these characters very, very much, so I will have to be playing these cards. So what does Zoro get in OP-03, and how does the deck really change? Well, they get access to Izo and access to Bogey the Clone. Yeah, I know, Buggy. So Buggy is interesting, right? Because he has a very weird slash attribute effect that sometimes, and a lot, sometimes a little, it does come up, as you saw in our last video versus Law. This effect can kind of shift an entire game. Not only that, he gets to consistently see our very powerful events without having to play the Nami engine, right? Because if we had to fit in Nami in here, we probably could, but then we wouldn't be able to play this Teach. And if you guys don't know, this Teach is kind of what really has pushed the Zoro archetype again in OP-03. So Teach says, when attacking, you may trash 1 red character with 4,000 power or more, draw a card, and gain 1k. So if there's 1 Dawn on your leader, 1 Dawn on Teach, you just kind of play a Buggy to search one of these. You'll go ahead and add a Radical Beam to your hand, and for a total of 2 Dawn, well, 3 Dawn with the Buggy, you get to draw a card, add a card, and hit for 9/6, which is a lot of damage. Not only that, we get access to Izo, which was supposed to be pivotal to the Whitebeard archetype and the deck leader, but it's just proven to allow other red decks to just play these very, very powerful Marco cards in consistency. So I can now consistently see my 9-drop, 5-drop, 4-drop, which are just all very powerful cards. In the Rec archetype, you have these leaders, these character cards, and they just become immortal. Not only because Marco is the immortal Phoenix, but because this guy is a 10k base, and if I back that up with my 16 2ks, as well as these insanely powerful event spells, well, we're in for a really tough time. The deck doesn't curve you as much as it used to, so that's kind of nice. This is trending towards the mid-range Zoro, which I loved in set 1, so hopefully this version of Zoro in OP-03 can make me fall in love with the leader once again. But until I see it, I ain't gonna believe it. So let's get some games in, and let's see how the deck does. Alright, so we got asked if we wanted to go first or second, and as always, you kind of want to go first. So I'm going to keep this hand because we have Buggy, Curly to Dawn, cards that just kind of get us to where we need to go. So I'm going to keep it, draw Dawn, and play Buggy. Now this is versus Katakuri, which is a very powerful deck. I will just take my Radical Beam, because even though it might not come in handy now, it will come in handy later. So these cards don't synergize with the Dawn, so Curly D. Let me go ahead and put these to the top, then this one, then the Dawn, so if I bottom deck on the next turn, I can go ahead and put some 1-drops under the Dawn, which, yes, I may not necessarily get there, but it's just good game mechanics and good things to just practice for all the decks that you play. It goes ahead and plays the Sanji. Now I'm just going to 5 them, hoping not to hit into a Cracker and or Pero Sparrow. Cool. Didn't hit into one of those. Pog Champion. We'll go ahead and deploy this. We'll whiff. That's a huge whiff too, because not only do we whiff, the Curly to Dawn on the bottom also gets punished by this. And yeah, these are some very powerful cards. Fortunately, we'll have to bottom these, and I'm just going to pass. So not a great start for us. We don't have an optimal early push. He's going to go ahead and hit me for 7. I'm going to take his 7 every single day of the week. He chooses to look at their own life, and we always have to know this information. He left it at the top, meaning this card is probably pretty darn good. I'm going to go ahead and take this 7. Not the card that we really want to see here. We would attach 2 to Sanji if he so chooses to. Now that's pretty darn good for us because, yeah, he adds it to his hand, so it becomes an unknown card. I'm going to go ahead and take this one again, and this is one of the cards that we do want to see. So that's really solid. So at least we got Izo next turn. Maybe we'll draw Marco or something akin to that nature. We can start going off to the races. My hand is just defense, which not great, not bad. He does add Pero Sparrow, so I know that at least, wow, that's a really good top deck. Go ahead and swing here. Man, we're just gaming. And then we'll just Marco to remove the pudding, and we'll pass. I mean, this is kind of what you really want to do. He can go ahead and hit me for 7 once again. Look at his own life, because this is a life that he's unaware of. That was a cool combo. That was pretty cute. You go ahead and look at it. If you like it, you want to add it, you can go ahead and add it with the Sanji. Also, sorry that I hit the mic there, guys. My bad. So that's pretty nice. I've done that combo before. I'm going to go ahead and attach 2. Swing at me. He's going to looked at my life, which is bizarre. And he left it at the top. Okay, so yeah, I'll take 8, man. Not a problem. You let me get this card? Interesting. He's gonna... Sure. Sure. I mean, that's not what I would do, bud. We're not all gamers. So, I mean, this is kind of cute going Otama into this off of the Pero, but that seems like an absolute... That seems like a lot. I will use this, bottom deck this. I do want to go ahead and deploy this. And I'll hit for 5. There's not many cards that really make a difference here, because he is just going to go ahead and, like, if this is Thunderbolt, right? Thunderbolt is a card that could make a difference here. He'd probably just go ahead and KO the Teach, so I probably should have held this back prior to swinging, right? Did go ahead and drop a lot of counter power there. He's okay. It's weird. I just swing 6 and just don't have to attach any particular Dawn here. Cool. Go. And we can really take our time with this. We don't have to really speed this game up or anything along those lines. He goes ahead and plays Katakuri. He's probably going to go ahead and put my Marco back. He decides to put my Teach back, which makes even less sense because he gave it to me. So now I'm going to go ahead and try to apply some damage this turn. I'm going to go ahead and hit him for 6. And then hit him for 7. And this turn he's going to have to take some pain, right? So you tap out, you're going to get hit, right? Take another 7. And then I could go ahead and play down another Marco. Not terrible. It's another immortal card where I can play the Teach. I mean, this card's probably getting removed, but this card always becomes an attacker. I also have double Machina, which you won't see coming. This is counter power, so I will just deploy the Teach just to keep up a Radical Beam and pass. So I'm at 3 life. He's down to 1. He's going to go, so he's planning on big momming me this turn, which isn't terrible, but he's going to be tapping out once again. That just ain't the move sometimes, my dude. This card's gone. There's nothing I can do about it. But that's absolutely fine. He can go 8 at 6. I guard point it. He goes 5 at my face. Do I even defend it? Probably. Remove an Otama. He goes and plays another Katakuri. Keeps up a Sovereignty. Plays another Teach in my life. I mean, this is fine. This just gives me infinite time. Sure, brother. That's backbreaking for him. That is backbreaking. So I won't keep up Dawn this turn because I just want him to hit me. So I'm going to go ahead and attach here. Hit for 7. And then I can always use this Radical Beam to revive him, which is very important. Painful. And now eat this one, brother. Give me 2 more cards. Yeah, that's ridiculous. Oof. And now he's going to have to deal with this. And the fact that I can play Otama. Man, he's in a really, really rough spot. He had to pitch a card. Sure, man. So, I don't know what to say. It's going to be a tough turn for him. I mean, this Marco can go. He doesn't really have to live. Sure, you can. I'll take it. Wow, there were 3 Teaches in my life. I'll go ahead and defend with a Machina. Tap for 10. Ooh, that does legitimately nothing. Understood. Understood, brother. Okay, well, that's GG. Because it really just is too much. So I'll attach a Dawn here. I should have probably pitched an Otama, but it is what it is. I'll deploy this, play this on here. This is now a 6 attacker. I'll go and make him a 7. And actually, it doesn't matter. Thunderbolt's going to hit either of these. It's kind of irrelevant. So I'm going to just hit him for 7. Yeah, he hits the Thunderbolt. I can use my card action, yeah, but I just will choose not to. There's legitimately no point. Go hit for 7. Yeah. And I win the game. Wow. Yeah. You know what? That was so fast. Maybe we can play another game. We'll go ahead and get another one in here. That felt really, really good. Oh, cool. So this matchup is supposed to be horrible for Zoro. So I like that. We'll mulligan. We'll draw Dawn. And wow, this is not a great start. Let's see how the Newgate player plays it. He goes ahead and plays the Izo. Now I wonder... He plays Newgate. So if he plays Newgate, that means that I just have to push him. He plays Chopper down too, which is kind of important because... Yeah. I'm going to go 8. And he'll probably block with the Chopper here. Okay. Understood, man. Now if I have Marco next turn, he's really screwed. He has his own Marco. He'll hit me for 6. I'll take. Understood, man. We'll go ahead and play this Marco to KO the blocker. And you should have just blocked while you still had the chance, my boy. Should have blocked while you had the chance. Now, next turn, I have to really make sure that he takes one more hit. Because he's going to burn here. I hit him, and then he burns again, so he can't play the 9-drop. Because we do know that he has the 9-drop in hand. And we have to make it so... that isn't the case. And if he... I will probably go 8 with the leader. If he blocks it with the Marco, then we just punish the Marco and play our own Marco. So there's a lot that could be said. Now, unfortunately, I wasn't at 6 Dawn. If not, I would have done this onto the Marco over that. So he's going to go ahead and Otama this, and then he's a 6k, my boy. He's a 6k. Yes, chef. Interesting. 8. We need 2 cards or block. One or the other. So yeah, he can summon Marco, pitching the Jozu. Now I could just 3. This is 10. By doing that, I do make it so he can never play Whitebeard again. But I do play very, very slowly if that's the case. Which, yeah, I'm kind of down with that. Because my hand is a little slow, and if I can just stick this and this, then he's, yep. Alright, so he can no longer play the Whitebeard, and that's not a card that I'm going to have to deal with this game. But he does have Marco to go ahead and pitch it out of his hand, which he probably should have instead of the Jozu. We'll see. At least he has 2 cards that probably will never swing. And then this one won't swing, so he has 2 attacks onto this, and I do have guard point plus a 2k here, so if he just swings a 7, I can just Jozu it. If he swings a little harder, I can let it go and then bring it back with the guard point. I then do get to go to, I believe, 10 Dawn next turn. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. I go to 9, so I'm going to be able to go ahead and play my Whitebeard. So he is going to pump up his Izo. Sure. That just means I have to clear this next turn, which is fine. Let's see how he wants to play his turn now. If he has to kind of go... I mean, the Izo's not bad. The Izo goes face, and that's pretty good for him because that'll trigger some sort of response. And I'll probably pitch in Marco for that. I'd have way too many Marcos to summon this game. And this Teach, unfortunately, just because of the way my hand was, I didn't have Curly to Dawn or Izos. Like, if I had those cards on the board, they'd be really good at dealing with these issues right now. But unfortunately, I just don't have them. So I'm going to go ahead and defend here. And then I'll just have to just attack the board next turn because he will go down to 0 and I just have to start whittling him down. I can't let this card hit me for free every single turn, right? I need that if these cards to attack, I need them to be taxing his Dawn and make these the only possible attackers. So we'll see. I mean, there's also the fact that I can Whitebeard, which makes that these cards are null and void. And if I just stick a Whitebeard, Otama is probably game. He goes 7 at my leader. Man, that's bizarre. What does he want to do with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 remaining Dawn? I'll take it. 7 at my leader again. Now he can't kill this. He just physically can't do it. Play another Marco and pass. Sure. Another one drop like a chopper. I mean, I know he has a Newgate in hand. Yeah, he just takes it. Wow, my hand is very high counter, so I will just go ahead and swing at this Makino. It won't swing at this, but definitely I have to remove this. And since this is going to be a 7k, I might as well use my 6 here. He can block and remove a card from his hand. If he so chooses to do that, I will then swing at the Marco, and then he's going to have to give me another card in his hand. Sure. He just wants the most amount of attackers possible, and I'm pretty sure he has a ton of bricks in his hand. Jozu. Man, that's troll. Respect it, though. I'm going to use my leader, trigger it on my... use my Newgate, trigger it on my leader, and then I will just declare an attack on this Marco. You can go ahead and give me another card as well. Now, if this card wants to attack me, it still is a 2 Dawn investment, and my goodness do I have a bunch of 2Ks in my hand. And not only that, but he is sort of kind of lethal on board because of this card. So we'll go ahead and see. Gives me a Rad Beam. Wow. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. So, these cards don't really do much, right? Because he kept a Whitebeard, so he thinks that he has to play that card this game. And if he does play that card, then these cards can't attack. I mean, the rest of his turn is just summoning Marcos or something. I don't know what the thought process is. My next turn is probably setting up double Marco on him. Maybe I use Curly D. Don't know. It depends what I get off of my draw or my life. I'm going to be defending pretty heavily. I just have one Otama that I need to keep because Otama is going to be able to just push the Marco. Or maybe I use an Otama a turn and I go use play Otama, target Marco, go face, blow up this Marco, pitch a card, block, pitch a card. So he goes, if he plays any card, he's going to go down to 4 cards left. And then I still have this one that can go 6 at face, 6 at face. And that's what 3 Dawn investment. I still have 7. I can go this, get a spell maybe. Not bad. I could probably do that for 2 turns and just cycle him out of the game. Doesn't seem terrible. I also have Teach, which is a Whitebeard Pirates character card, which I'm just going to use with the Marco, honestly. So those are my next couple of turns. It just push him as heavily as possible. So I'm going to hit him next turn. I'm going to be susceptible on the following turn because I'm not going to be 7k. And then if I'm not 7k, yeah, no worries. Ooh, I cannot spell. Let me use 2 hands. So this turn I'm kind of defended. Next turn I'm susceptible to damage, right? So he chooses to do this. That's why I'm so surprised that he defended this. It makes literally no sense. So he's going to go 8 at 6. And that's not a bad play. That's really not a bad play. So that makes me want to go like this. And then if he swings at it again, I give him a Marco. It's going to get a little tough. I may not even have to Otama this turn. I might just have to use these. Yeah, that card's really good. So I might have to use these offensively. So I'll go 6, 7, 8. This is 11. So I'll go 8 at 8. I'll place another Dawn here. 1, 2. I can't double Marco, but I can Izo Marco card. So let's Izo. Izo will find me king do? Probably. I just need more counter power. 8. Yeah. 8 again. 12. Marco. It's probably the move. Gives me another card. This should be another card. This is block. Give me a card. Probably should have started with the new gate. That way that if he... Because this is a forced block, basically, and then I could just have gone on the Marco heavily. He doesn't have anything. Wow, that's crazy. He chooses not to summon. I'll play my own Marco here. He's still in a really tough spot because I have a heavy counter power hand. That was Otama. He's going to go Whitebeard first. I accept the Whitebeard attack, and then I defend the rest of them. Sure, I will use card action to trash this to summon. No blocker resolve. Use trigger effect. Get out of here. That's huge. And that's why Gum Gum Red Hawk is broke. So now he only has 2 possible attackers. And that's if he wants to go for game, right? I mean, he can use these 2, but that's not real. That's super not real, right? And if I just have an Otama, not turning this sideways loses him the game on this spot. So, that was nice. I know that he was trying to hold in. I mean, usually that's why this card is the most. This is why this card won the promotional, event that we had for the One Piece trading card game. Because this card is just ridiculous. It just lets you offensively, defensively. It's a very weird card. When I first saw it, I thought this card was horrible. You know, when we were first looking at the One Piece trading card game last year in August. But who would have known? Who would have known? He's gonna go ahead and play Chopper. Sure, that won't save you. You have 3 cards in hand, my guy. That will not save you. I don't even have to play Otama now. I can just go even slower. I can put 2 Dawn here and then pop the Chopper, and then you're gonna have to be forced to block with this. This, you can't revive it, so then I just hit you for 6. And then I just hit you for 8. And then I hit you for 6. Tough. It's a tough one, brother. So he has to kind of swing here. Kind of, sort of. I don't know. These are the things that you have to kind of think to yourselves as you play the trading, like the One Piece trading card games. Like, what can my opponent do? And like, when you see the moves that he can make and you kind of think to yourself, like, what's the more optimal turn that he can have? What can I afford to and not to defend? He does know I have a 1k, so that's not going to fly. And that is super taxing. He's going to have to play... What? Yeah, that'll go here. And then that can't KO this because this guy's just immortal, unfortunately. So it has to go here, and then I just combo out of it. He's down to 2 cards in hand, so there's just no feasible way he can win this game anymore. But it doesn't matter where this card goes. The game is just over. Because if you just hit him for 6/6 twice, yeah. Resolve. Use. Here. Oof, and that's another really good card. So I'm going to attach a Dawn here, and then if I just attach 2 here. Swing pop. He has to block this. Can't revive it. Yeah, and then just 6/6. And that's how the cookie crumbles, baby. Yeah, no. Wow. So Zoro looking kind of cool. It's very different. It's more mid-range. It's not just like summon 10 1-drops and like swing at your opponent for 5s, which I didn't really enjoy. This version seems a little bit in towards the mid-range variant, which seems a little bit more enjoyable. But at the same time, man, do these cards feel powerful. This Marco, when I top decked it, I was like, oh, this is a good draw. And yeah, that card got me there. So, I mean, honestly, these Whitebeard pirate cards, I get it. You know, in the lore of the show, they're you know, the strongest man alive, the immortal phoenix, but at the same time, my goodness, does that make for unbalanced cards in a card game. If you like this sort of video, guys, make sure to leave a like down below. If you have anything you want to talk about towards the red archetype, I know you guys have a lot to say about red. And as always, guys, if you're enjoying this type of content, please hit that subscribe button. I will see y'all on the next one. Peace.